finish grinding on the grinder, and you come back and you put a whole bunch of scratches all down into that depth, and now everything's down here, and guess what? You got nothing to sand. So if you've got a problem with spending dollars and dollars on reams of sandpaper to sand out scratches, that's not your solution. Your solution isn't in your sanding station, your solution's in your grinding station. You didn't finish grinding. Slow down, do a better job grinding, and then you spend less time sanding. Then there's the guy, there's the knife maker who will. I'm going to show you what I sand with. This is all I sand with. I sand with sanding bar, a chunk of corian, and a block of rubber. This is what I sand. We're going to grind a knife, and I've taken, and we're just going to phase right into that. And I'm going to show you, and show you how I do this. This is a Damascus knife. This is that little hunter I'm going to make, and here's a. We're going to take a minute. I'm going to take a minute. Quick metallurgy lesson. Iron plus carbon equals steel. In its simplest form, that's basically what steel is. Iron plus carbon. And carbon makes a really good fuel. Matter of fact, my little stove right here is burning anthracite coal. It's almost 100% pure, hard carbon. It's heating my shop. It burns well, and it burns hot. You take, and I'm going to use an analogy of this piece of steel with a piece of toast. You take a piece of toast and you stick a toast in the toaster, and you forget it's in there, you set it too high, you set it too hot, it's in there too long, and the smoke alarm goes off in the kitchen, and the next thing you know, you pop your toast up and it's black. However, if you take that toast out, oh, and you go, heck, these are my last 2 slices. You got to eat something with your Cheerios. So you take that piece of toast and you cut the crust off, 1/4 inch around. You scrape off both sides, and down there in the middle, you got a good piece of toast. But on the outside, it's burnt. Well, that burnt is that's the carbon in, which is one of the most abundant elements in the whole universe, is carbon. And that's what burn up, and the sugar's got carbon in it. That's in our wonderful high fructose corn syrup in our bread. So that's what burned up. It's worthless. Same thing on a knife. Here's our toast, and that 2,000 degree toaster in there is our forge, and it's burning up this steel. We need that carbon. When it comes time to harden that blade, it's not going to harden. Your customer's going to get screwed if he doesn't have a knife that has all the carbon in it required. So, and I get wonderful reports from my customers, whether they be in Australia or England or Africa or Indiana, how my knives work, and they perform exceptionally well. So I'm not going to change what I'm doing. If the other guys are doing fine, then I'm happy for them. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So now we're going to grind a knife. Safety is something that I consider, and I got to tell you that this I see a lot of guys with, and I've had them, the masks and everything that are just, quite honestly, we end up not using them because they're so worthless. They're in the way. You've got these canisters here. You can't. Here's what I'm going to be standing like this working. I can't work here if I can't see my work, and I've got a face mask here. I can't see my work, so guess what? I don't use my cartridge filters. Then you'll have some. I'm going to be using magnifying glasses. You'll be sitting here and you'll breathe up around you'll have these masks over your face like this, and you'll breathe out, and they fog up your glasses, and you can't see. So guess what? We don't use those filters either. Well, this guy is a genius. First, I want to point out these are HEPA filters that filter out down to, you know, some unbelievably tiny 3 micron or something.
3 or 5 is,
it's unbelievable. And it's the guy is a scuba diver. This guy is a scuba diver. It's all PVC, plastic, washable. You just clean it out. the filters pop right off, and guess what they do? This thing, it's just, the guy's a genius. It goes around your neck. This is a like the mouthpiece from a scuba dive tank respirator. Put it in your mouth. This is a clip that goes on your nose because we're just going to breathe through our mouth. Some people can just remember just to breathe through their mouths, but this makes sure that you do. It clips over your nose, and the air that I'm breathing is coming from behind my head. I could work just like this. This thing with my mouth and the mouthpiece in my mouth. Nothing is interfering with my vision. And I'm telling you, because of this, I'm a much safer knife maker because I wear it all the time. Because it's good if you were working a wood lathe or you're grinding in a machine shop, anything, mowing in your yard, you're allergic to pollen or whatever, it doesn't matter. And it's called the Respo Raider. But all that said, I'm not going to wear it today because I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time talking. So I'm going to grind this knife, and the first thing I'm going to, I won't say the first thing, the last thing I did in the knife shop when we forged this out, and I had it all pretty well forged, I brought it up to heat and I put it in my press with my big flat dies, and I kissed it. I just smashed it flat. And what that did was it got me straight. It got my the sides of my ricasso flat and parallel. So by the time, as soon as I come in here into the shop, I'm already in the zone with this knife. I love those big flat dies on the press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this down to closer to a thickness that I want to where I want to end up, and I will be using my little micrometer quite a bit, and I'm just going to put a new belt on. And the saying in the knife business is use belts like they're free, even though they're not. And on this grinder, I have the pyro ceramic cover, which is a hardened glass, which just keeps flat. And because the steel on these platens they divot out and they dip and they make a mess. So we're going to get this knife close, very close. And I'm looking right down the base of the platen. When I made this knife, I forged in a taper, so the front half of the knife tapers from here to the point. And I'm going to get from here back as flat as I can. You can see where I'm getting. We get rid of all the forging scale, all the pitting gone on the side of the ricasso.